Hello Scorpio, I'm here to do your reading. First we're going to pick out your pieces. Of course we can't shuffle these because they'll break the pieces. So I'm using dice. I'll show you how it works. If you want to skip this part, I'll put in a timestamp in the description. I have Scorpio a few places in my chart. I actually resonate with it more than my moon, which is Gemini. And I'm always curious anyway. Let's see what we get. 0, 70. 70 in reverse. This dice determines whether it's going to be read in the upright or in the reverse. Odd numbers are reverse, even numbers are read upright. So I'm going to write this down. 70 reverse. $68 upright. Do 5 pieces, and then I'll clarify with tarot cards and Moonology card. 62 upright. $59 upright. Wow, high numbers. So how it works is, after the numbers come out, I go over to these 3 boxes that all the workers are in, and I go to that number. I have no idea what that placement is because they're put in the boxes randomly, and when your reading's done, they're put back randomly again. So there's countless variations of what we can get here. $6 upright. I'm gonna go see what the 6 is because it's so easy. Count the 6. Right back. Six upright is the hangman. So that'll be the last piece in your spread. Should be interesting. You have a lot of uprights, only 1 reversal. Okay, so I'm going to clear this off, put up your pieces, come back and do your reading. Okay, Scorpio, I'm back with your pieces. I want to go over something before we get into this. You might wonder how I determine which sign's going to come first, second, third, etc. Well, I use tarot cards, shuffle, wait for poppers, and then whatever comes out, that's what I go with. You came out last. I felt bad because Sag, my sign, came out right before yours, and I had to go with that. But anyway, I think next time I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to go with something I see other readers do, and that's go with whoever you get the most views from or like, something like that. So that means you might be first, might be in the middle, who knows. Not that it matters that much. So here we are. Let's look at the pieces. I'm thinking about what I see. And I'm trying to do it in a way where I'm not using any knowledge of what the pieces represent and the meaning behind them, the traditional tarot meanings. Just want to look at them as like looking at photographs or things we encounter in nature in a group. That makes me think about how some people, they go to museums and art galleries and they feel a little uncomfortable because they sometimes encounter works they don't understand. Well, we could do the same thing here. We don't quite understand maybe exactly what's going on, but our impressions are just as important as any art critic, art expert out there. We use our eyes, our thoughts, our feelings, and come up with our own ideas of what we're looking at. We can build our own scenario here. In fact, I recommend you stop this video, just look at the pieces one by one, side by side, as a group, and come up with what you feel about them. And we feel different every day. We feel different all the time. We could change during the day many times. So how you feel, and that's something you only know, is a big part. It's one of the main ingredients in getting at meaning here. My main purpose is to provide tools for us to think. Tarot cards are divination tools that we use to go a little deeper into our thoughts, to take that little time out from our busy day and to do that. So maybe you're back now after thinking about what you saw here, based solely on your feelings and ideas and history and how you feel today. But I'll go through the pieces and how they relate to traditional tarot. First one on the bottom left with that little R is the Hermit. That's Virgo, Earth. That sound you hear in the background, by the way, is an auto body shop that's next door here. The second piece, those boxing gloves, those red boxing gloves. That's the Nine of Wands. Sagittarius, that's me, fire sign. 3 is the seesaw with a head on one end and the heart on the other. That's the Two of Swords. That's an air sign, Libra. And then the 4th in the back left, there's a woman reclining, laying down, face down on the ground, the parrot on her back. That's the Empress. And the last piece is a man upside down. That's the Hangman, Neptune. The Empress, by the way, is Venus, planet, the sign of love. So quickly, what we have are, and this is important, we have 3 major arcana. The Hermit, the Empress, and the Hangman. It's 2 naked people. I only have about 3 or maybe 4, if you count a baby, people who are unclothed. The other one I can think of is the Lovers. And there's no real water here. We have earth, fire, and air. But we do have Neptune, and I guess you could think of that as water. I don't want to go over each of them individually into their deeper meaning or traditional meaning. I want to kind of go with my intuition and how I feel and look at this spread here. So what I see when I look is, when I pick the pieces and put them down, I do start with the bottom left, go across 1, 2, 3, and then go in the back. And I am drawn to that piece anyway. That's the Hermit. And note that there's an R next to him. That's for that we're supposed to read it in reverse. That's the way the dice came out. I love the Hermit. He's a romantic figure in my mind, always has been. He or she, actually. Reminds me of the Depression era people who would cross country jumping on trains, having campfires outside, totally free. They didn't have much, but they had their freedom. Also reminds me of some of the Steinbeck novels, like maybe Mice and Men and Cannery Row. I read those when I lived in San Francisco. Great books. All his books are great. So the Hermit here, he does have the lantern. The lantern's about knowledge, seeking knowledge, giving knowledge. He's by himself. And when I look at him, and I know the meanings behind these all pretty quickly, I look back and I see the Hangman. I mean, they seem similar in a way. They both are off by themselves, thinking deeply. They're portrayed as male figures for some reason, although it doesn't matter. But in tarot, the Hermit, going into hermit mode, leads to spiritual awareness. But the Hangman is spiritual awareness. Say there's magic involved, spirit. And Scorpio is a sign of magic. When they talk about occupations that Scorpios might have, it's one of them is magic, psychology is another. So I think we have to take that into account in this spread because you're here. I think both the Hangman and the Hermit are seeking truth, but the Hangman is more about sacrificing, possibly sacrificing for the greater good or looking for guidance. And if you just look at the images, the Hangman has nothing with him. He's naked and he's out in nature. His hands are free. Whereas the Hermit has a guitar, he has a bottle, probably wine. He's fully dressed, he has his hat, his lantern, he's all prepared. He even has a tree he's leaning against. It reminds me of maybe almost shelter. He has his shoes, he has everything. So there's a lot here that points at some sort of turbulence in the past. And you know yourself best. Could be you, could be your person, the person on your mind, the person closest to you, could be somebody a little further out in your circle, a family member maybe, or a friend, neighbors. I say that because we have the Hermit in reverse. Next to that we have the Nine of Wands, fire, and that's all about perseverance. That's like fighting to the end. After a long battle, still fighting, not giving up. Next to that is the Two of Swords. That's about reflecting. Again, there's a lot of reflection going on here. Making a choice. There's a blindfold on the head. And this, my idea here was, is it head over heart, heart over head decision? Usually this is shown with the swords crossed in front of a woman, kind of blocked off, but deep in thought. It's an air sign, so it's all about being in your head. So there's some struggles for sure. Could be the past, could be now, could be the future. To me, it points at an ongoing struggle that's just not quite there yet. Moving forward, because you have a 9 and all these major arcana, it's a lot of energy. And especially because you have the Empress in the back. The Empress is lying down, very unusual. She's usually sitting on a throne like all the queens. Only difference is in traditional tarot is she sits there and her legs are a little apart. People make a big deal about that. They talk about it being maybe sexual or because she is the goddess of fertility. The traditional meaning is about her being fertile herself or helping others become fertile, even the ground being fertile. There's stories and texts written where she helps the men become fertile to continue on their legacy. But she's also a very independent character. She does what she wants. She has everything she needs. She's all the queens rolled into one. Here she's shown with pomegranates and a book and a bird. Have to do with learning and wisdom and fertility, being fertile. But when I look at it in this way, you've got to realize there's 79 pieces. There's so many combinations these could come to be, and which one ends up next to each other. You have the hangman who's looking at her. He's kind of looking between her legs, it looks like to me. Is he thinking about sex, children? Is she the focus of this whole reading here? She probably is. She's the strongest. She doesn't have any questions. And she's not going to chase anybody. She's good on her own. Right here, what's she doing? Maybe that's what the hangman's thinking about. Where is she? What's she doing? I see her here, and is she dead? Is she sleeping? What's she doing? I see her as being one with nature, grounding herself, enjoying her time alone, maybe taking a nap. I love naps. Maybe she's dreaming. She has her one leg up, which kind of gives the idea she's not sleeping though. She's animated. They always have women who are standing, and when they're just about to kiss somebody on a movie, those old-fashioned black and white movies, she raises her one leg when she's happy, satisfied, or excited. But yeah, that's what I think this is. The hangman, this whole spread's about the Empress. They have somebody on their mind who they love, who they're curious about. They have a lot of questions, and they're seeking the answers to those questions. And the advice is really, with the hangman, is to let it go, let the thoughts go, don't dwell too much, and trust the universe, and trust divine timing. And this whole spread might be saying, if you're not already going inward as the hangman and the hermit, maybe it's time to do so. Just don't get stuck there too long like the hermit in reverse. Yeah, that's what I see here. There's a lot of colors, a lot of fire, a lot of red. There's struggle and there's love. There's a lot of questions. Hopefully, by going into a hangman mode, you'll get the answers. But I think we should clarify. Use a couple tarot cards. Move the camera down a little. Make some room. Maybe I can shuffle in front here. And we'll clarify a couple pieces. Right now, I think we definitely have to look at the hangman. I'm going to use these little Visconti tarot cards. See my thumb? They're pretty small. I love them. They're beautiful. Who's that? Fonte di Denari. He's the page of coins, pentacles. This comes in 5 languages. Let me shuffle a little. Try to do this on camera. It's very tight in here, but I'll do my best. Split the deck. What do we see? We see 10 of Swords and the same one I saw before. Page of Coins. Page of Coins. One more time. Ten of Swords just fell on the ground. The same one I looked at before. I always have trouble shuffling these things, man. Kind of small for my fingers. Anyway, I love them, and let's see what we get. Thank you for these messages so far. What more can we learn about the Hermit in reverse for Scorpio? Okay, we have Fonte di Spade, Page of Swords. Page of Swords. Okay. Page of Swords, that's about action, words, communication. So that's saying it's time to move forward, speak your mind, your person to speak their mind. This is your reading, so I would say it should lean towards you. Let's see, maybe we'll get something else. I think it's a good card, though. Whoa, that one flipped around a couple times, did a somersault. It is the Four of Swords in reverse. Yeah, again, that sounds to me like it's time to come out of seclusion. So normally that's someone, it's an air sign, laying down, contemplating. Sometimes looks like they're sleeping, or some are even look like they're in a casket with four swords above their head. Definitely in their thoughts. Similar to the Two of Swords, but we moved to the Four now. So it shows movement again. And it's in reverse, which means maybe we've had enough of that. Let's clarify the Hangman. Alright, we got a card. We got a queen here, I can see that. Who is she? L'Imperatrice, the Empress. The Empress. We got the Empress already. Wait a minute. So we got the Empress clarifying the Hangman when we already had the Empress. Well, I mean, that's a double confirmation in my mind that all this thought, all this energy, past and present, it's all about the Empress. Somebody has an Empress on their mind. Let's do one more. Then we'll go to the Moonology cards. All right. You won't believe this. This is perfect. The Hangman came out again. So you got to realize this is another Empress. This is another major arcana. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we got 5 major arcana. I think that's exciting. And it's the Hangman in reverse. To me, that's a clear sign. It's time to come out of this. It's time for the next stage. Or the other meaning could be that if you need to stay a little longer, I hate to be this confusing, I guess, but normally it means we're not in reverse. It means the Hangman's not ready to make the sacrifice necessary yet. So I always refer back to you. You know best. You know everything. You know way more than I do. You know about you. You might not know how your person feels, but you know how you feel. You know where you're at. All right. Well, let's see. Okay, I'm going to cut the deck. We're going to go for a popper here. What does Scorpio need to know? What final messages and what advice and messages can we get for Scorpio? Thank you. Upside down, but it doesn't matter. We don't read reverses. Bring love into the situation. Wow. Bring love into the situation. Well, that's a good message. Let's see what else we can learn from the book. That is new moon in Aquarius. We just had the new moon. Here it is. Okay. Bring love into the situation. Aquarius is all about progress and modernity. So this is a time to move forwards, as we've been talking about. The new moon in Aquarius card means no looking back, exclamation. Change is on its way and it could come quickly. Whether you get the change you want depends both on whether you believe you can have it and how much you're relying on others to bring it to you. This card comes with the suggestion that you may need to do things independently on your own. But be loving, not too pragmatic, exclamation. Time may be of the essence when this card comes up. Aquarius energy has an electric feel to it. Certainly there is a sense that you need to let go of the past and move towards your future as soon as possible. So this fiery energy we saw here, this 9, was telling us that, and this is confirming it. Attuned to the moon. Explore the idea that it's not what you know, but whom you know. Additional meanings for this card? You need to be more detached from the situation. Thinking outside the box will bring the solution. More pragmatism is called for. Improve your karma by doing some charitable work. Interesting. Improve your karma by doing some charitable work. Well, that's great. I mean, we always need to be thankful for what we have. And if we have enough, we should be charitable. If we don't have material things, we can always be charitable with our feelings, our advice, our help in other ways. I'll show you the book. You can actually screenshot this, use it as affirmations to read during the week, the month. Okay, I like this reading. Pretty cool. So thanks for coming. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Love you all.